Hello, we are going to the third extreme fight for Endwalker. This is going to be a long guide, so if you're looking for a shorter version, there are plenty out on YouTube. I'm going to basically show footage and pick it apart. The Minstrel's Ballad, Endsinger's Aria. So for this fight, we do want some clock spots, just to make things a little bit easier to handle. But I think maybe in this particular run, we didn't set it up at the beginning. We kind of just YOLO swagged it. Yeah, so I think we just went for the pool. This is footage from like almost a year ago, and so it's been a while since I've seen it. But we'll just take a look at what we see, and I'll try to explain most of it. Okay, Alleglea, Unforgotten. See, it's all like... So we get a raid wide, but then it also sets it up where we'll see some planets, kind of like in the normal mode. And so with these planets, there's going to be a blue one, blue variations, and then there's also going to be a red-orange one. The blue one is going to do a knockback, and the red one is going to do point-blank AoE, and we'll see them. So just keep that in mind. I'll go over it a few more times. There's also this head here that pops up that kind of looks like the boss's head, but it's like one of her sisters. The Endsinger is recreating the despair she experienced. Okay, so it's like, in a way, she is like looking at the planet, right? And so what you have to keep track of is the little hitbox of this ad that pops up is pointing this way. So it's as if it's looking over here. And so this means all this is going to explode once the once the mechanic goes off. Now with the planets, there's one planet here and there's one planet here. One of them is moving faster than the other. See, this one's moving a bit faster than this one behind me. And so I'm going to stand over here because this planet that was over here, it was slowly moving this way, and this other planet that was up here, it was quickly going around. And the point of touching each other is going to be right here, and that is typically it's going to move one quadrant over. Okay, so if you look at the mini map over here, here, this is kind of super bright, but we have a planet here at 4-way marker, and we have a planet up here at 2-way marker. Okay, we're just looking at the mini-map in the corner here. The slow one in this configuration happens to be moving this way slowly to 3, but this one is moving a lot faster, and so it very quickly goes over to 3. And so the trick here is essentially, oh my gosh, the program crashed already. This is gonna happen a lot because this software is hella old. It's okay. Coming back. Got it. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Okay. This, like, it closes, but then I need to like give it time to reset itself or something like that. There we go. Okay. here. Okay, so the first move, yeah, it's like 5 minutes and we're still just on the first mechanic, I know. But we're learning the planets, okay? So the one behind me at 4, the 4-way marker back here, is going to move 1 quadrant over. So it's going to move over to 3. And then the one at the number 2 marker happens to move faster, and so it's like chasing the slow one, and they will meet over here at 3 and explode. And so what that means is, see, I'm running over here to pre-position myself. Once the blue planets touch each other, they are going to do this knockback. So we're gonna get pushed back wherever we happen to be standing relative to this spot right here. So something to keep in mind, however, is when you get knocked backwards, this ad right here is facing a certain direction and it's got its mouth open, so it's like gonna vomit up damage. So you want to get knocked into a location that's not in front of the ad, but also not pushing you off the stage. Okay, so see, I go here. Okay, see, a few people got knocked off the stage because they weren't pre-positioned for that. And also some people were probably gone off there. Yeah, so a bunch of people ran away over here. You see them all far away from here. So they definitely get punted off. So BS and T. Yeah, and then see right afterwards, the goop goes out of the mouth of this thing. And so some people got hit with, I got hit with it. I got hit with this thingy, and I get a bone stack from that. Okay. Immediately after that, we get another raid wide and set of planets. Okay, so this time it's called Fiery Star. So this time it's a planet here, and there's a planet back there. So you can kind of see here that I didn't have my camera angled very well, but I knew it was over there because the one that I saw was here. The planets are always going to be diagonal from each other. And I see, once I turn my camera here, that, okay, this one is definitely going slower. So it started at 3, and it's slowly moving to 2, the 2-way marker. And this one was like over here, and it went all the way around. It's going to go like that. So that means the impact location is going to be right here. And so I keep that in mind. And if it's a fire one, if it's a orange-red color, it's going to blow up. Okay, so in a way, I kind of think of it as like the blue planet, you know, it kind of reminds me of the ocean or waves, and waves move you away, and so it knocks you backwards. And then fire in general combusts, and it will just blow up. Which you can argue that after something blows up, there's a lot of, like, you know, force and energy, and then you can radiate backwards, but we're just, the first thing it does is blows you up, you know what I'm saying? And so for blue planet, it's going to be a knockback. It's going to push you back as if it's a wave. The fiery star ones are just going to blow up and do damage to you. Okay. And then again, we're keeping an eye on the ad and which way that it's facing, and it happens to be facing this way. So we're going to get a cleave like this. So while you are dodging away from this fiery thing, like the impact zone is right here. And so it's going to be this huge AoE like this. And so our safe spot is going to be probably on this side. So let's take a look at how it resolves. Yeah, see, it was pretty big. It was that big. And then the head is going to go like this. So we got to be in this general area. There we go. Okay, impact event has been recorded, as in like we're going to see that mechanic again. Now at this part we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 towers. We have 8 players in our party, and so this means that everybody is going to have to take a tower at some point. However, we're going to get a mix of different mechanics here. Grip of Despair. You see these chains going above people's heads. Everyone's going to get chained to another person. And you have to break the chain. If you don't break the chain, then, well, see how I'm getting more damage here? Grips of Despair to Grips of Despair. The longer the chains stay up, the more damage you'll take, and you'll get more vulnerability ups, and eventually you'll die. Okay? While that's happening, see these fireballs? They're coming down to the towers, and we have to have people soak those, or else it'll hit the actual platform and potentially wipe the whole party. Okay? Additionally, we have Elenkos here, and this is indicated by the boss's actual face. She has her mouth open, and there's like energy coming out there. So this is going to be a middle line AoE. And the other variation is if she's crying, then it will be out 2 line AoEs on the outside. We'll see it. But yeah, so we have like 3 different things going on here, all within the same kind of time space. So let's move ahead a bit so we can see the rest. We're just like talking about what things could have happened there. Okay. Alright, Alleglea, Unforgotten. So it's going to be a raid wide, and then we're going to get the first set of planets. Okay, so initially it's starting up here at 1. These are the way markers we happen to be using. So it's at 1, and we got one at 3. So figure out which one's moving faster. Okay, this one looks like it's moving faster. So that means, like this, the endpoint is going to be around here, because this is the slower one on this side. So I am running towards 2. I'm going to ride the knockback. Be mindful of where the head is pointing. I see that I did not make it far enough, but you have a little bit of time to adjust. Okay, I didn't make it out of there in time, but you know, it's okay. Okay, so we're gonna get another set of a raid wide and then another planet. Okay, so here we see the head facing this way. Okay, so there's a fire planet here, so that means there's another fire planet back here. Figure out which one's moving faster. Okay, it looks like this one was moving faster. Remember, this one's going to explode, and so you want to go away from it. Also be mindful of the head. Okay, there we go. That was kind of close. Okay, so that explodes, and then this AoE goes off. Okay, and the boss says Catasterismo. Okay. Okay. Catasterismo is the towers, the name of the towers. So how we handle this here is everybody stacks up together in the middle of the stage. So if you haven't seen these types of chains before, essentially a player gets chained to another player, and you have to run a certain amount of distance away from each other in order to break the chain. If you're too far away from each other from the start, then there might not be enough distance to break the chain. But if you start in the middle of the stage, then as soon as you run in opposite directions, there's more space than like, oh, if we started out here, then there might not be as much space unless you jump off the stage. So with that, we stand in the middle, and people have played this enough to determine that 1 DPS gets chained to a support, so either a tank or healer. And so everybody, at least in this group, agreed that DPS are going to run this way to the east side of the stage, and then supports are going to run the other way. That way it's a bit more organized. So once everyone gets their chains, we run away from each other. Ideally, you just go this way, but because this person went straight up like that, we didn't break our chain. So, okay, actually we did end up breaking it, but it was kind of close. Okay, and now during our little deliberation between pools, we kind of decided who would take what towers. So I'm taking this far tower. And Ellen Coast is the one with the mouth, so you gotta look if it's the mouth that has the energy or the tears. Okay, there's no crying, so it's gonna hit the inside, the middle of the stage. And so that means we need to stand on the outside of the tower. Okay, and then on this side, you stand on the outside of the tower. If it was the tears and the AoE is on this side, and then you stand on the inner side of the tower. Okay. It looks like this person is standing in the back here with me when they shouldn't. So typically when we assign locations for towers and mechanics and such, you would want the range players to be further out and the melee players up close. So like on the support side, this would be a tank, this is a tank, this is the healer, and this is healer. And then back here, it would be range, and then melee. But I think maybe because this was like a new run for some people, they could have gotten confused. But yeah, so we all get massive explosion here because we miss some towers. You see, so we had this one missed, and I think this one doesn't have anybody. You can see if somebody is standing in it, there's this glowing thing around the ring, but if no one's standing in it, then there's no glowing thing. Okay, so we were missing this one and this one. So, okay, there are two people up here. Both tanks were in the front, that's why. So we needed somebody in the second tower there. And then this DPS, this melee person should have been up here. But yeah, so with the Elenko's mouth open thing, see she like spits out damage here in the middle. So you want to make sure you're not standing in that. Alright, Telos, I think this is a raid wide. Okay, and then Hubris is Tank Busters stuff. Allegalea, Unforgotten. So we got this raid wide, and then we're going to see the planets. Alright, so remember there's a head, and it's facing a certain way, so you want to watch out for that. There's a planet here. So there's a planet back here somewhere. Okay, so this one in the back was moving faster than this one. Wait, no it's not. It's moving slower. Okay. It's hard to tell, huh? Yeah. I think it's because I move my camera so it makes it seem like it's faster or slower, but actually the one in the back was slower. So we're gonna run away from that. Over here, and then also watch out for the head. Okay, after this set we get this thing, which is that each healer will get a stack marker, and so you want to divide up into light parties. Light parties meaning you have a tank, a healer, and 2 DPS per party. So we split up like that. Usually you'll have like party 1 go more north than the other, just so there's a bit of organization so people don't overlap. Okay, fatalism. The same end again and again. Tragedy is about to repeat. And so we get those same planets that pop up. Okay, so we had a fire, 2 fire ones. Okay, the Endsinger winds back the clock and on the impact event. Okay, so here, it might be a little confusing because now there's 4, right? So we had a planet here and we had a planet here. However, in this configuration, this one in the back kind of splits up into its own thingy, and so it's like we get 2 more explosions. Okay, so the one in the back blows up, does its own thing, so we have to get away from that. And then next up is the one in the front that hits together. So there is a lot of dodging going on here, and we'll see it again. And then this Ellen coast, you can see her tears now, so that means it's going to cleave on the sides, so you want to stand in the middle. Yeah, we'll see the planet things again. Okay, Twin Song, I did not catch how to pronounce that, but for this one, okay, let's see, how do you pronounce that? Twin Song's Aporia. We've got 5 heads here. There's 1 head here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and then a head in the middle. The one in the middle works the same way it has worked with the planets that we've seen. Okay, the head is facing a certain direction and it has its hitbox, and so it's going to cleave that whole side. While this whole mechanic is running through, the head is going to turn, like it goes here and then it goes here and then it goes here, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. These other heads on the sides are either going to do a donut AoE or a circle AoE. So that means you're gonna have a safe spot in this donut AoE or this donut AoE. The donut AoEs are always diagonal from each other, same as the circle AoEs are gonna be diagonal from each other. It looks like they also have different names. So the Endsinger, Aria Unforgotten. Okay, so there's that one, Dia Races. Okay, so this one is from this ad. I saw it before. And then we have 2 waves of nausea and 2 necrotic fluids. Okay. Oh, I'm not sure which one is which, but one of them, the wave of nausea, maybe is the circle AoE, and then the necrotic fluid is like the donut AoE. I'm sure I get hit with one of them, so we can figure that out. Okay, I definitely got hit. I'm gonna get hit with this cleave. So, Diaresis. Okay, so I got hit with the middle one. Yeah. But, okay, so this is gonna hit 3 times. So, if you see here, before this was the donut AoE. There's a donut AoE here. Everything rotates. So now the donut AoE is on this side, the donut AoE is on this side, and then the circle AoE is now over here. See how that rotates like that? Additionally, before, this head was facing this way. But see how it has turned 90 degrees? So now it's cleaving the entire back side of the stage. So we have to keep track of this. Everybody else is like bunched up in this corner. That's what you want to do. Don't do what I'm doing here. This is for science. See, if I stand in this donut AoE, I think I'm clear, but actually I'm not, because this whole thing is cleaving this way. Okay, now I'm gonna go stand in some of this stuff and see what I get hit with. Okay, I'm probably gonna get hit with this one. Okay, so the circle AoE is the necrotic fluid, and the donut AoE one is the wave of nausea, if that's important to anybody. Wait, but this one looks like fluid. Oh, you know what? I probably just got clipped with it because I was kind of standing in this thing. Oh, yeah, wait, this was the donut AoE that I was hiding under before, and this looks like fluid. So this is the So the donut AoE is the necrotic fluid, and the circle AoE is the wave of nausea. Oh, that makes sense. Because like wave is like airborne kind of thing. Sure. Yeah, I think I must have gotten clipped by this thing here. In any case, okay, the point is you don't actually need to know the names of these things. It's more about the shapes of them. So for this third hit, this middle one is cleaving this side, so you don't want to go on this side. You want to go behind this ad. And the circle donut AoEs rotate, right? And so there was a donut AoE before, now it's down here. You could also think of it as like the first one happened to be here, so the third one is going to be here. I have a hard time remembering that kind of stuff, and so I just think, okay, it's rotating. And if I'm in a spot that's not going to be safe, whatever's diagonal from me is going to be the same one. So here. Okay. Okay. Also though, if you're gonna like be running around unsure of what to do, like this person ran into this spot, this is a donut AoE, and they got hit with one thing and they survived and it was fine. But yeah, you know, like standing in one thing is better than standing in like 3 things at once. So it's okay if you get hit with just the one thing. Okay, now this part, theological fatalism. This one is what can be a little trippy. We've got 1 ring here, 2 rings here, and then it's kind of hard to see because of this this chat box thing, but there's actually 3 rings right here in the middle pad. Okay, so what that means is if it's 1 ring, it does the one that it just did. If it does 2 rings, it's going to do the one that it did before. And it does 3 rings, it does 3 things before. Okay, so for example, let's see this one. Okay, so first it was a donut. And then it was an AoE, a circle AoE. And then it's a donut. So this is, if we go backwards in time, this is the last one it did. Is that hard to see? I'll just stick with the blue. This is the last one it did, and this is the second to last one, and this is the other one that it did. But as you see here, 1 and 3 are the same thing because we only have donuts or circles. Okay, so if it's 1 or 3, then it's going to be whatever the last one was, as in this one happened to be a donut. But if it's 2, then that means this one is going to be a circle AoE, as in because that was the second one that we saw here. This one was a circle, donut, and then circle. And since it's only going to go to 1 backwards, that means this one's going to be a circle AoE. And this kind of checks out because we know that if it's a circle here, it's going to be a circle over here. If it's a donut here, it's going to be a donut over there. Okay, so we can check this too. If this one was a donut for the first one, the first time it came out, as in this one, then the next one would be a circle. And then same thing, the next one after that, the third time it hits is going to be a donut. Is that sinking in? If the last one that was hit was a donut, then if we go backwards 1, then it's going to be a donut. Because we are here now in this like fourth space. Okay, this is not making sense. I'm confusing myself. Somewhere in my head this makes sense. There are a bunch of tricks and stuff to this that people say to do, like memorizing this and that, and I'm just like, okay, that sounds good, but I'm not going to memorize anything. You know, in like elementary school, you get set values. So you got, let's say we got a donut, and then we got a circle, and then we got a donut. Okay, and now what is this gonna be? If we go backwards, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna jump back 1. Okay, that means it's a donut AoE. Okay, if I jump backwards 2, it's gonna be a circle AoE. If I jump backwards 3, it's gonna be a donut AoE again. Alright? Like that. I actually already forgot. It's been too long now. I forgot what this one is. Let's just watch. Oh, wild. Okay. So this was the donut for the last one. So if it's 1 or 3, it's gonna be a donut again. Okay, so this is 2, so that means it's going to be it's gonna be a circle AoE. However, because the last one was a donut over here, I see that diagonally this was 1. So that means if this one goes 1, donut's safe over there, and it is. So I go over there. However, okay, once you figure out which quadrant you're gonna be in, you have to keep in mind that this head is also here. It's got 3, right? And so you go backwards, you go counterclockwise 3. So this is 1. This is the last one it did. 2. This is the second to last one it did. And then 3 over here. So that means it's gonna cleave over here. Does that make sense now? Because it has 3 rings, it goes backwards 3 things that it did. If it's gonna go cleave over here, then you know for sure this is not safe and this is not safe. Whether it's a donut or a circle, it doesn't matter. Like, you're definitely gonna get hit with the head in the middle. So that means this one or this one's gonna be safe. Through process of elimination, I saw that the last thing that we were just in was a donut right here, and so that means this is a donut up here, but that means this one is a circle AoE. And so when we see the rings, I figure out this one first, right? So it goes back 3, so 1, 2, 3. This is gonna cleave over here, so over here I'm like, okay, this was a donut. Last one that this one was, it was a circle AoE. So this number 1 up here, where the way marker is over there, that one's gonna be the safe spot. Okay. As you can see, it can be very tricky to keep track of all this stuff. I definitely still struggle with it because I don't run this all the time, but theoretically that's how it all works. Okay, in practice you just actually have to practice it to figure out the timings and stuff like that. Now after this we have the healer stacks. So again, remember, split up into your light parties, and then we also had that Ellen Coast thing. Okay, so the mouth is glowing, so that means the middle is going to get cleaved. So you want to stay on the outsides. Hubris is the tank buster stuff. I believe this one, these runs do have the echo, so, but we do see all the mechanics. Okay, so this is the next big mechanic thing here. Shoot, what was it called? I think it was Despair something, Unforgotten or something. Yeah, Despair Unforgotten. So everybody will get different markers. We do have some dead people here, so it might look kind of funky. But we've got some markers here. Okay, so I have a stack marker. We got some people with flares, and then we got some people with this like pink donut thing. Okay, so ideally you want the flares to go far away, and then you want the donut people to stand together with the stack marker. This works out Okay, so I died there because there's only one person stacking with me. This works out because the way the donuts work is that if we have a circle here, and then it's like this, and the donut is cleaving like this, everybody inside the donut is safe. And the flare markers will be far out enough that they won't get hit with this donut AoE. So you want to stack the donuts together. And then the stack marker person also stacks up with the donuts. So you're all like standing together. It's like, you know, those kid toys where it's like a thing, and then there's like a stick, and then there's like all these rings, and then you put the ring on it, and then it slowly like turns into a tower, that thing. It's like that. Like you want to stack all the donuts together into this area with the stack marker. Now, if somebody's dead, they will still get one of these markers. From what I have read, the dead person will indicate, see, so this person's dead, right? The healer, BS, they're dead right there, and you can see that they have this marker on them, this flare marker. I don't think it goes off though. Yeah. From what I'm seeing here, it won't actually hit. So it's okay. Apparently. We'll watch more footage for this. But yeah, ideally, again, donut people and the stack marker stand in the middle. Flares go outside. Ideally, you will have clock spots for this, so everybody knows which areas to go to when they're spreading outside. But if you don't, you have a bit of time to spread out. Okay, Despair Unforgotten again. We're gonna get 3 variations of this. Okay, in this variation, so the first variation is that you got people with the donut, the stack, and then the flare. That's basically what it looks like. This one is like, go away from me. This one is stand with me. This one is, we're gonna make a donut around us. So that's the first one of the variations of this Despair Unforgotten. This is another variation where everybody has a circle AoE. And so that means everybody needs to spread out. And as you can see, I'm dead right now, but I still have the AoE. And this is really there to like trip you up, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Now, second Despair has been recorded, okay? Recorded as in we're gonna see it again. So just remember that. Remember, if you can, remember the first, second, and third thing that you had. Like the first time I had the stack, the second time I had the AoE. And so I'm gonna try to remember those things. Elenkos, okay, so she's crying. She's crying. So we're gonna get cleaves on the outside. Okay. Despair Unforgotten, so this is the third one. Okay, so we got the flare and the spread, see, so all the donuts are in the middle together. And then the flares are out. AN here, it looks like, okay, AN had the stack marker and they ran away from everybody, and so that's likely why they died. Okay, but look at all the other donut AoEs here, they're all stacked together. That's what you're supposed to do. And then VN, this person is like running out, so they spread out. Okay, DT, I don't know who this one is. Okay, okay, so they're out there. But yeah, this person ended up dying because they didn't have people to stack with them. And SG, what happened to SG? SG, I think that's them right there. Did they walk off the stage? Yeah, okay. I think they just walked off the stage. Like, they were just right there, and then they immediately died. So I think they walked off the stage. Okay, so now here, we've seen these. This is like what happened before. Okay, so some people get the 1 ring, 3 ring, and 2 ring. Okay, so for me, we'll look at the box set, okay? So this is like in order of what happened. The first thing that I got was the stack marker. The second thing that I got when I was dead was the circle AoE. Okay, and the third thing that I got when I came back to life, I believe I had a donut. Okay, so here, what's the fourth one that's gonna happen? I have 2 rings, so I go 1, 2. Okay, so that means I'm gonna get a circle AoE, or some variation of something that will explode and people need to be away from me. So let's see if that's accurate. So I run far away. Okay, and here we go. Yep, this is exactly what I had before. Ooh, Echoes of Befoulment. Yeah, we're doing the thing. Okay, so I got the AoE, which is the second one that I got in the 3 Despair Unforgotten cast things. This was the second one that I got. And so here you can see my little icon here is this green thingy. And then we got some other people with stuff. Let's see. DT. They've got this blue one. Looks like a donut AoE, okay. FI is right here. FI has the donut. Okay. VD is over here. They have this yellow looking one. And it's a flare marker. Okay. And then CV is over here, and they have the yellow one, which is like this one. It's a flare marker. Okay, so it all kind of checked out. You see, this is how the debuffs work. I think for this, you don't really have to look at the debuffs. Like it's more simple to just look at your actual marker above your head and around you. But just for science, we can see how these debuffs connect to these things, right? Okay. AN. Okay, we got some people who are dead here, and so some of this might be hard to like parse out. But the gist is, as you can see, we have people who I believe I think it's role based. So DT, even though, oh wait, DT is actually supposed to be over here because they have the donut AoE. So maybe it's not role based. The thing is, we had people dead, and so it might make it a bit messy because I've read and seen in other like videos of people saying that things can be role based, and so it's like all DPS outside and then all supports inside, or the opposite. But I think if you have people dying left and right, it kind of like messes that up a bit. And so if you have a perfect run, then maybe you can call it like all DPS out or all supports out. But yeah, it would be best if everybody could understand how the mechanic actually works. Okay, so I knew for myself I was inside and then out. I should have been outside because I had the AoE, but I was dead. But it's fine. I know I saw that I had the AoE. And the third time I was inside. And so since I go back to spaces on what was mine, I knew that I was in AoE, so I go out. And ideally it would happen so that all the DPS happens to be out. But because we had some dead people, some of them might have switched around. But yeah, so that's how that works. It will be dependent on your party on how you actually resolve it. I have seen some blind parties kind of just spread everything like wherever, or all spread to the north side and everybody else goes, I don't know. It's when you do blind runs, you get all sorts of like interesting strategies that people do, but through Party Finder, the general strategy is to have flare markers spread out to the outsides, like around these markers or so, and then the donut and the stack marker right here on in the center of the stage on the hitbox. That's usually what people will say to do. That's what the more common guides will say to do. Okay, and then this is like a raid wide, a very big raid wide. With a bleed, by the way. Okay, so watch out for that. Okay, Endsonger's Aria. Alright, we got these heads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, 6. Okay. Endsong, ever shall we sing our voice resounding throughout the vast expanse. So there, if you look at the boss is now like radiating out these like sound waves. And so see these rings? This is like their song. It's gonna go towards the ads, and so you have to look at them and see what direction they're going towards. Once these song things hit the stage, they will create these AoEs. Okay, so this one is hitting this ad, and so this ad is doing AoE here, this ad is doing this AoE, and this one over here is doing this AoE, and so on. So we gotta go to a safe spot, and then afterwards, see they're singing, literally they're singing their song. Afterwards, they sing, but then they throw the song outwards to another ad. So you gotta figure out what direction these are going, and then address yourself into a safe spot. See, we had 2 going this way, and we had these kind of going on this side. So over here is likely gonna be where the safe spot is. Okay, so you gotta turn your camera, kind of figure it out. Okay, we had some going that way, one going this way, and these kind of cross over here. So we're running south. See, they're gonna hit these ads over here. Okay. While that's resolving, remember Ellen Coast, you gotta look at the boss's face to see if she's crying or vomiting. Okay, she's crying, so you wanna stay in the middle. Okay, Telos. Is it raid wide? Hubris is the tank buster stuff. Alleglea Unforgotten. Okay, so we got the planets again. There's a raid wide and then the planets. Okay, remember, look at the head. The head's going here. It's going to cleave this way, so we don't want to end up there. Planet is here. That means there's a planet behind me over here. Then you figure out which one is moving faster or slower. Okay. So this one is definitely faster. So this one is slower. It's going to end up down here. So we go over here for the knockback. But remember to not get knocked back into this area. Okay, so I was able to kind of adjust out of that. Immediately after, we have the healer stack. 2 healer stacks. But the other healer was dead, so we all just stacked with the one alive. Okay, strategy is about to repeat. Fatalism. Okay, so we saw this before, where she brings them back, but then it will like duplicate itself. So you have to figure out which one happens first. Okay, so this, I saw this one spawn first, and so it's gonna hit first. So I want to get away from that. Ideally, you get away from that. Then this one in the back spawned. So it's like you'd go over here to avoid this explosion, and then you run back over there to avoid the explosion in the back. It's not fast enough for all that. So yeah, there's a lot going on here. Okay, now over here we get the blue planet. So then you would go run towards it. See, so now this one in the back will go off. And then you want to knock yourself over to the next set. It can be hard because it's like, whoa, is this one's, wait, which is it, this one or is it this one? See how these are already like close together, but they're spreading apart. So that means that's gonna happen later. You want to run away, well, run towards the one that is already gearing up to explode. And then, yeah, see, so you follow? See what they're doing? They knocked back across the stage, and now they're basically positioned well for this one. Okay, and this is definitely a body check here because it's towers. So this would be a situation where we don't have the chains, but we do have to watch out for the elencos. So the mouth is glowing, so it would be, the inside is not safe, so you want to stand on the outsides of the towers like this. And ideally you'll have picked which towers who goes into which towers. Okay, so that was a bit off timing for this kind of stuff, but it's okay. It's fine. Telemania is gonna be raid wide. That's essentially all of the mechanics. Okay, and there's a bleed. The rest of it will be like, it will just kind of repeat some more mechanics. So it is a bit a lot, yeah. Twin song Aporia. Okay, so we've seen this before, right? There's donuts, and they'll all rotate. You gotta stay away from the head in the middle. And then it rotates. So now this is gonna be the donut over here and donut here. And then now the head is facing south. Okay, so we wait here. And now you gotta remember which one. Okay, so this is 3, which means it's gonna be the last one that we saw, because over here, see, it was donut, AoE, donut. Okay, so what's the next one? Go back 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and so this one happens to be the same as this one. So if it's 1 or 3, if that one was a donut, you go there. But then we also have to keep track of this head. What does the head say? Okay, the head, back 1. Okay, well, what was the last one it did? It's just right there. It's like that. And so that means this one's safe. Okay, and then we got technically the healer stack markers. Okay, man, that was a lot. I think we died enough that we get the echo. Yeah. Okay, so we died enough to get the echo, but we have seen all the mechanics. So we got it this time. If this person turned off their echo. Alleglia Unforgotten, so this is the raid wide with the planets. And the head in the middle. Okay, so this planet up here. And this is the slow one, so you want to move away from it. No, ghost, no. Okay, and then the head throws up. Okay, and then the blue one, that one's the knockback, so you want to go towards it, ride the wave backwards into a safe spot. Okay, avoid the head, vomit. Okay. Stack up in the middle for the chains, and then for this group we had DPS go to the right, supports go to the left. Okay, all the way to break the chains and then go into your tower spot. Elenkos, look at her eyes or mouth. Okay, the eyes are crying, so it's going to be on the outsides that cleave. So you want to go inside to the middle. Telos is going to be a raid wide. Hubris is a tank buster stuff. Let's see why people died. I think we had some people who did not get into their towers. Oh, okay, we had some people who were still chained, and so they were taking damage. Okay, so one DPS was down, so we missed one tower. And then this person... Okay. SG is up there. Oh, okay, well they were in the Ellen Coast thing, that's why. I think this person must have also been in it, and they moved over just in the last second, but they got clipped by it. So everybody took damage because we were missing one tower, but then also because, yeah, you can see they were standing on this side, so they got hit with the tears. Yeah. This person also got hit with it, but they're healers, so they must have healed themselves up fast enough. Right? Okay, they were standing like right in the middle of it. Oh yeah, so they almost died. But yeah, okay, so this is a raid wide. Tank buster stuff. Alleglea Unforgotten, so the planets. Raid wide here, planets. Okay, so we got one here, figure out which one is moving slower. Is this one, so the knockback is going to be from here, like this, but you have to avoid this side of the stage. Yeah, just out of it if you can. Then we split up into light parties. Fatalism, okay, so we get the planets again. So you have to pay attention to which one pops up first. So I see this one back here. See how it splits up? I noticed that it split up first before this one. This one's still doing some animation, but I can clearly see that this one has moved out. So that means this in the back is going to happen first. So you want to go to the back one. Ride the knockback across the stage. And then you want to get close to this one. I was trying my best. I tried to hit arm's length and it didn't work out for me. I was too slow on it. But it is tricky business. Okay, so for this one, remember, find the donut and also don't get cleaved with this thing. Okay, then you rotate with it. It's always going to rotate like clockwise. Okay, rotate with it. I decided to not take my raise because I didn't want to have to figure out how to adjust to this, so I just waited. Okay, and then here is 3. If that was a donut before, then that's gonna be a safe spot, because this, the one in the middle, is 1. So we got the cleave right here on that side. So this donut spot right here is gonna be safe. Okay, so it goes off. Remember to split up for the stack thing, and then also watch out for the Ellen Coast thing with the mouth thing. Tank Buster. Despair, Unforgotten. Okay, so everybody gets a marker. Okay, so I got flare, so I'm splitting up. Let's see, pretty much everyone's alive. Let's see. Okay, so I have a flare. DT is also DPS. They have a flare. Oh yeah, you can see here. All the DPS have the gold one, and it happens to be like a flare, right? All of the healers both have a blue one, and one of the tanks has a blue one, and so that works out. And then AN happens to have the stack marker, so it's this indicator, this like gold one. And so as you can see, the donuts and the stacks are all on the supports, and so they all go to the center. All DPS have the flare. So this is what I was talking about before, like if everyone happens to be alive, then this can be handled in a very like organized fashion, either all DPS out, all supports in, or the reverse, all supports out, all DPS in. But if you got people dying during this whole phase, then you can't rely on doing callouts like that. Then everyone will have to be responsible for remembering what theirs was. Because like, if we had a healer dead, I might have gotten one of the donuts, you know what I'm saying? So then that means I might have to go into the center with the supports later, and that kind of thing. But anyway, so we split it up. As you can see, we didn't really have really good spots set up. I had been going south usually, but we were all kind of bunched, and so a good amount of like they died over here. Oh, I expected the other person to also die. Hang on, let's see. Okay, well, they probably died because they got hit with both of ours. And, oh, you know what? It might have also been because this. See how far back this, like, donut thing goes? So, the stack up might not have been far enough. This person just straight up died, yeah. Because they're right there. I think I was a bit further back. Maybe. Because the other ones we died were okay. Yeah, I want to know if they died because they were too close to the flares, or if they died because they got hit with like all this stuff. CV and FI, they also died. They had donuts, so were they not stacked close enough? Oh, this person, FI, yeah, they're like all the way back here when they should be up close a bit more. So their donut would be like this. Okay, so that might be why the donut looked like it was a bit further back. And if the other healer and tank were up there. Oh, okay. It's because this tank moved back. This tank right here, the one that had the stack marker, they moved backwards instead of stayed with the other donut people. See, so we had two donut people standing right here, and the stack marker was also there. But as the last moment, this person moved back with this person. And that meant there's probably only one person in the stack with them, and so they died. And then the donut from the other person hit those others. And maybe BS did not die because they just came back from the dead and they had transcendence. Let's see. Yeah, they didn't take any damage from that. Maybe they had a maybe they had a thick shield. Okay, yeah, they might have cast a shield on themselves. Oh wait. Oh, they got this. Yeah, they got the Dark Knight's thingy. So they might have survived because of that. But then the Dark Knight ended up dying. Okay, let's move on. As you can see, we'll get another variation there. Everybody has AoE, so everybody spreads out. And the dead people also get the thing. Elenkos, look at the mouth. It's in the middle, so you want to stand on the outsides. So thus far I've gotten outside, outside. And so let's see what the third one is. Okay, now I'm inside because I have the donut AoE. Okay. So we go back one. The one that I just had was the donut AoE, and so I'm gonna go on the inside. As you can see though, we've got some people who are dead. So it might change things up. But here also, the dead person's AoE was overlapped. Okay, see, actually, you see, FI is the healer, and they were in the middle, the first two, and then they're outside the third one. But 3 back, so that's the first one they had, was in the middle, right? And so that means, because we had some dead people, these things overlapped. So me and the healer both are inside. Because it gets kind of switched up like that. And we also had somebody with a donut over here and they spread out. It worked out. We had enough space for that kind of stuff. But it can get a little tricky. Because, let's see. Okay, CV, the dead tank, has the green one, which is the AoE, which we see here. AN has the yellow. Okay, so those are flare markers. A VD, they're over here. They have the flare marker. Okay, so DT, which is right here, they have a donut. So they should be in here with us. DT has a donut, FI has a donut, I have a donut. Yeah. So they should be with us over here. But they end up over here by themselves, and that's fine. They didn't hit anybody, and they didn't get hit with anything themselves. It just so happens that the person who, the summoner, has this one, which is the stack marker, but they're dead, and so it didn't really matter. And so it kind of resolved itself. And so that's fine. They're coming back from the dead, but I think once they get back, it's like a non-issue. Yeah, so they waited to get back up. That was kind of lucky. Okay, and then this is a raid wipe. Endsinger's Aria. So we get the 6 different heads, and then the boss is gonna sing, and we have to look at where those sound waves are going so we can avoid those circle AoEs. Okay, so we got this one's going to here, so we got safe spot up here. Okay, like I always try to recenter myself so I can see these rings a bit better. So I see them going over here. And I see these two are kind of moving in this trajectory. So I'm heading more towards this, like, southwest side. West, basically. Okay, they're saying again, so we got some going here, here, this one's going here, and that one's there. So I'm moving, like, away from us. Okay, so that's kind of a tight spot there. And then we have Ellenkos. Okay, so look at the face. It's the mouth, so the middle is not going to be safe, so we want to stay on the outside. Telos is going to be a raid wide. Hubris, tank buster stuff. Alleglia Unforgotten, the planets. Okay, so raid wide planets. Okay, the head over here is going to cleave this side. There's a planet here and there's a planet down here. Figure out which one's moving faster. Okay, this one's moving faster, so that means this one is going to end up in the back here and it's going to explode like this, so we want to stand on this side. Remember, be mindful of the head cleave. Okay, and then we got the healer stacks. Okay, so this healer happened to be dead, so I didn't need to stand there. It would have been better to go to the other stack, but it's fine. Fatalism. Okay, so the planets are going to come out again, but they're not going to chase after each other. They're going to have their own set of stuff. So you have to figure out which set is spawning first. Okay, so I see this one spread out first, so this is going to hit first. So I'm going to run away from it. Okay, and then you run. See, I didn't run fast enough. I wasn't far away enough, so I got clipped by it. Then the next one is going to be here, so then you would run over there, and then we have another set of planets come out, and it's going to be the other color. Okay, so this one spread out first. Like, I know I'm like dead and it's hard to see it all, but here, the planets over here, the blue ones, they populate, but you can see this one fully formed with its ring and all that. Like, it's like intact. It has moved away from the other one because it spawned over there. This one's still like conjoined together, and so this one's gonna happen second. This one's gonna happen first. So you want to go to the back corner to ride that knockback into the next set, like right here, like these people are doing. Resolve this first before you go to your towers. Oh, doesn't that look like water? Yeah, so like the wave thing. So the wave is like the knockback. You ride the wave. Yeah, okay, so now we have the towers to soak. We also have Ellenkos, so look at the face, it's the mouth. There's no tears. So you're gonna stand on the outside of the towers. Okay, and then we got a healer LB coming in right now. Healer sacrifice themselves. Okay, then we got a raid wide. Twin Songs Aporia. Okay, so we got the heads. So it's gonna cleave south first. So you find the donut in the north area. Okay, and this is gonna rotate counterclockwise. Clockwise. So So just follow it clockwise. Follow it clockwise because this middle head goes clockwise. It goes here, it goes here, it goes here. So you always want to be away from this head. Okay, and then we're gonna get the rings that tell us what it is. Okay, so 2, this was a donut before, and so if it's 2, that means it's gonna be the circle AoE. So it's not, this is not where it's gonna be at, okay? This is not gonna be a safe spot. 3 back, so that means 1, 2, 3, so it's gonna cleave down here, so that means our safe spot's gonna be up here or up here. Let's take a look at the rings. Okay, so 1 backwards, so this is gonna be a circle AoE because this was a donut. The last time I saw it was a donut, therefore this is a circle AoE, so this is not safe. So it's gonna be this one over here, and that works out because if I know that this was a donut AoE, then whatever's diagonal from it is going to be a circle, a donut AoE if it's 1 or 3 back, and it is. So we'll go to the front there. Okay, Ellenkos. Look at the face. It's in the middle. So we spread out for these healer stacks, but stay on the outside. Okay. Hubris is tank buster stuff. And Song's Aporia. And get those heads again. So this is the singing one with sound waves. Oh, but we got it. Yeah, so as you can see, it all kind of just like repeats itself afterwards. Man, that was wild. Like, yeah, I ran this December 29th last year, and it's like September now, so that was a long time ago. It was kind of difficult to remember some of this stuff, but in any case, I hope that was helpful, and have a good one. Bye.